Hi, welcome to the African World Channel. Today, we're diving into the geopolitical drama surrounding Niger's decision to cut military ties with the United States. In a bold move, Prime Minister Ali Mohammed Lamine Zein revealed the junta-led government's decision, citing perceived threats of sanctions from the U.S. Stay tuned as we unpack the events leading to this historic decision. From the tense exchange between Zein and Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, Molly Phee, to the implications for counterterrorism efforts in West Africa, we'll break it all down for you. Remember to subscribe to our channel, give the video a thumbs up, and share it with others to help us reach a wider audience. Now let's get back to the video. In March, Niger's Prime Minister, Ali Mohammed Lamine Zein, revealed the junta-led government decided to sever military ties with the United States. This move came in response to perceived threats of sanctions from the U.S. The decision to end the military cooperation agreement was announced by Niamey shortly after a U.S. delegation departed from the Sahelian country. Niger has long been a crucial hub for counterterrorism efforts in West Africa, hosting a significant U.S. drone base near Agadez City. Zein recounted his exchange with Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, Molly Phee, during the delegation's visit. He expressed his dismay at what he saw as attempts to dictate Niger's international relationships and trade agreements, delivered in a tone he described as condescending and disrespectful. First, you have come here to threaten us in our country. That is unacceptable. And you have come here to tell us with whom we can have relationships, which is also unacceptable. And you have done it all with a condescending tone and a lack of respect, Zein recounted. In response to Zein's account, the State Department spokesman, Vedant Patel, acknowledged that Phee presented the junta with a choice, framing it as rooted in democratic principles and national security interests. Despite efforts to find common ground, discussions between the two sides failed to yield an agreement. Consequently, the United States decided to withdraw its forces from Niger in an orderly manner. Zein criticized the U.S. presence, citing instances where he felt they failed to effectively combat terrorism, contrasting this with the actions taken to defend other allies, such as Ukraine and Israel. The Americans stayed on our soil, doing nothing while the terrorists killed people and burned towns, said Zein, who has led negotiations with the United States. It is not a sign of friendship to come on our soil but let the terrorists attack us. Relations between Niger and the United States soured further following a coup in July the previous year, which led to the suspension of U.S. military support. Meanwhile, countries like Russia, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates embraced the new leadership. In the aftermath of the coup, Niger expelled troops from former colonial power France and deepened its ties with Russia, which provided military instructors and equipment. The split between the once close allies has opened doors for Russia, which wasted no time in strengthening its ties with Niger. Recently, Russian troops arrived in the capital, Niamey, to provide training for the Nigerian military. They've also supplied Niger with a brand new air defense system. Now, both Russian and U.S. troops are stationed at different ends of an air base, showcasing the newfound rivalry between the two nations. Despite the strained military relationship, development aid from the United States is set to continue under a new agreement worth nearly $500 million over 3 years, as announced by the Niger Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Accepting development aid from the United States presents both opportunities and challenges for Niger. While the financial support may seem beneficial in the short term, Niger must tread carefully to ensure that it does not become overly dependent on external assistance. The country should be wary of any conditions or strings attached to the aid, as they may compromise Niger's sovereignty or long-term development goals. Instead, Niger should prioritize investments that contribute to sustainable economic growth and resilience, while also diversifying its partnerships to reduce dependency on any single donor. By approaching aid agreements with transparency, accountability, and strategic planning, Niger can maximize the benefits of external support while safeguarding its autonomy and long-term development prospects. In the complex world of global politics, the United States is facing some tough challenges when it comes to keeping its influence strong in Africa. One big example of this is what's been happening between the U.S. and Niger recently. Niger's leaders, who took power through a coup, decided to stop working with the U.S. military. They did this because they felt like the U.S. was threatening them with sanctions. This decision by Niger is a big deal because it shows that more African countries are getting frustrated with the way the U.S. gets involved in their affairs. It's not just Niger, other African countries are also looking for new friends and partners, like Russia, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates, who are offering them deals and support. But the problem for the U.S. goes beyond just Niger. Across Africa, countries are exploring new ways to grow their economies, make themselves safer, and handle their relationships with other countries. With China investing a lot and Russia making military deals, the U.S. isn't the only game in town anymore. On top of that, the U.S. hasn't been very successful in fighting terrorism in Africa. This makes it even harder for African countries to trust the U.S. to help them stay safe. So, what does all this mean? It means that the U.S. is losing some of its power and influence in Africa. To turn things around, the U.S. needs to rethink how it works with African countries. Instead of trying to call all the shots, the U.S. should focus on building real partnerships based on respect and shared goals. If the U.S. doesn't change its approach, it risks becoming less important in Africa. So, it's up to U.S. leaders to figure out how to work better with African countries in a way that benefits everyone involved. The arrogance displayed by American officials played a significant role in the decision to withdraw troops from Niger. The United States' approach to diplomacy, characterized by a perceived sense of superiority and entitlement, strained relations with Niger's junta-led government. Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs Molly Phee's reported condescending tone during negotiations likely exacerbated tensions, fueling resentment and resistance from Nigerian officials. This arrogance undermined the spirit of cooperation and mutual respect necessary for productive diplomatic relations. Consequently, Niger's leadership felt compelled to assert its sovereignty and independence by severing military ties with the United States. The withdrawal of American troops from Niger reflects the consequences of hubris in international relations, highlighting the importance of humility, empathy, and genuine partnership in fostering constructive dialogue and cooperation between nations. We value your input. What are the potential economic, political, and security consequences of the United States' withdrawal of forces from Niger? What are the prospects for future diplomatic engagement and cooperation between Niger and the United States, and what factors might shape these prospects? Please share your opinions in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with others. Thank you for watching.